No, that, not for express. You know, that will be for the real.
Enough.
Not funny.
Okay, this is the group. Last day.
Oh, thank you. Did she?
Yes, it was a
Hi,
pleasure.
Annie. I'm always in the videos.
Well, that's really nice.
We've met some very nice people.
Very nice people.
Yes.
All right.
Oh,
Sorry. Very good. That's
Very
better.
nice person. Okay.
Right.
We're going to get started here.
This guy's are dressed up on here.
Ron is going to, right now it's about 6:45, and we're going to give Ron the time that he needs. But we'll 7:15 and say we can kind of start on the dinner. But thank you, Ron, for joining us tonight.
My name is Ron Pregnell, and I'm a retired Royal Canadian Mounted Police Sergeant. I was in the RCMP for 33 years,
wow.
and before that I was in the Army, so I've never had a real job. I want to talk a little bit about the history of the Royal Canadian Mounted Police, why we started 152 years ago, and what we do now. But to do that, we need to go back to the year 1670.
Wow.
That would be the year that King Charles II of England gave his first cousin, Prince Rupert, about 5 million square miles, some of which we're on now. And Prince Rupert started the Hudson Bay Company. That was in business for about 400 years. It just went into receivership, I think. Anyway, so for 200 years, the Hudson Bay Company carried on a fur trade with our First Nations people, and things were well. All those beaver pelts got shipped back to the mother country, England, and they made those fancy hats, and life was good. In 1869, the fur trade kind of dried up a little bit. So they had it in mind to sell this piece of property, this 5 million square miles. And they wanted to sell to the highest bidder. The United States of America had just purchased Alaska in 1867 for $7.2 or $3 million. Someone just about got impeached, but it turned out all right. You know, you get to go to Alaska now after you're finished here, right?
Yeah.
And so they were looking at this piece of property also. Had it not been for the King of England's involvement, I might be dressed in blue and I'd be saluting like that. As it was, the King of England forced the Hudson Bay Company to sell to Canada. And that, of course, made us the second largest country in the world, after Russia. So, now that you have this vast domain, you should do something with it. So the government of the day thought it would be a good idea to have a law enforcement established in the frontier. Up to that point, there were no immigration. The really didn't come in until about 1885. So they thought they would stay ahead of immigration somewhat. And there were issues with some whiskey traders from Fort Benning, Montana, causing some havoc with our First Nations people. So the government took note, and they enacted the Northwest Mounted Police Act in 1873. They were looking for 300 volunteers, and the Northwest Mounted Police is modeled after the Royal Irish Constabulary. And so they're looking for 300 volunteers for this new law enforcement unit. And as I said, it's modeled after the Royal Irish Constabulary. I have a recruits wanted poster. And I'm just going to read it out to you. You may see the Irish. Anybody here besides myself of Irish descent? Anybody? A few people?
A little bit.
Rochester, lots of Irish over there. Applicants must be between the ages of 22 and 40. Active, able-bodied men of thoroughly sound constitution, and must produce certificates of exemplary character and sobriety. Now, could that be the Irish connection? It goes on. They must be able to, they must understand the care and management of horses and be able to ride well. The term of engagement is 5 years, 75 cents a day, and free room and board. So that's the first 300. We now have about 22,000. I'm sure they're making more than 75 cents a day.
I hope so.
I don't think I remember that sobriety test being part of my recruitment. So that's the first 300 that signed up. They put them on the rail in the known world, and they traveled out by train to the edge of the unknown world, and they had to take the last 900 miles by wagon train. It was not an easy task. It took a lot of endeavor. Horses died of malnutrition, men got sick from slough water. Eventually, they made it out to this part of the world. And their objective was a place called Fort Whoopah. That was the nucleus of the liquor trade. They had to take Fort Whoopah. They brought cannons with them. They thought they were going to get in a big battle with these whiskey traders. They come out to this part of the world and they cannot find Fort Whoopah. See, we did not have ladies in the RCMP until 1975. Guys normally don't stop to ask for directions, do they? I'm not naming any names or anything. Had we had ladies in the force back then, we probably wouldn't have got lost.
Yes,
As it was,
that's right.
they took the contingent down to Fort Benton, Montana, and they sought the assistance of a frontiersman by the name of Jerry Potts. He took them up to Fort Whoopah. Lo and behold, when they get there, the place is deserted. I guess they heard the Mounties were coming, and they got out of Dodge, so to speak.
I got it.
So they settled the whole area without a shot being fired. And then, once that happened, they sort of went about building forts because it's now September, and we're not all from Rochester, New York, or is there anybody from the deep south here? Nobody, it's just everybody northern states? We're not all from Texas either. So they went about building forts and went about doing their patrols, creating favorable impressions with our First Nations people, and lo and behold, we get tied up next in the Boer War in South Africa. We're loyal British subjects. When the guys get back from the Boer War, they get the Royal Northwest Mounted Police title, and then time goes on, and in 1920 we become the Royal Canadian Mounted Police, and also the National Police Force, the Federal Police Force, and there is a small Dominion Police Force in the known world. They get absorbed in 1920. Headquarters is moved from Regina, Saskatchewan, still the training depot for the entire country, to Ottawa, Ontario. That's our headquarters. So now we became the National Police Force in 1920. This became the official dress uniform in 1920. Prior to 1920, it was the only uniform. 1920 rolls around and they were issued a brown serge with a cross strap. Anybody see the Elliot Ness movie years ago? Kevin Costner, Elliot Ness, Untouchables. The guy behind the camera says yes. They're riding across the bridge, they're in a brown serge. So that tells me it's after 1920. I was also issued a brown serge, but I'm not that old. So we became the National Police Force, we became the Provincial Police Force in all provinces except for Ontario and Quebec. And we're the Municipal Police Force for all communities that want to hire us for their services. So we have three distinctive areas of policing: federal, provincial, like your state police, and municipal, like your town sheriff, I guess would be it. That's the makeup since 1920, and it has not changed since 1920. Any questions so far?
So you were participating in World War I?
Yeah. Yeah, they had a contingent. Also in World War II, there was a lot of Provo RCMP officers. They were in charge of prisoners of war and stuff. But you got to remember, you needed a good contingency of Mounties in this country for security purposes. So not so much overseas. Some, but not everybody went overseas. Not everybody went overseas in the Boer War either, just some joined up with that endeavor. You need to sell some back home, right? So, any other questions about what we covered so far? Let's move on. Let's talk about, why is the uniform red? Somebody asked that question.
Good question.
Was it this table? This table. Why is the uniform red? Anybody know? More visible? Yes. It's very British. Very British. The British have worn red uniforms for a lot of years. And so when the guys got off the train, they had these red militia uniforms already bought and paid for. It's the only part that is original. The hat is not original. They came off the train with a little pillbox hat, totally useless. They kind of turfed that along the trail, I'm sure. Then they went to a pith helmet. And this is the first case of cross-border shopping with the U.S. Cavalry. The U.S. Cavalry hooked us up with the Stetson. It's ironic they're now made in Garland, Texas. They make about 2,000 of these hats a year for the RCMP in Garland, Texas. This is old like me, it's made in Ontario before the plant got moved. So, a little bit about the uniform. The yellow stripe is significant in that we were a cavalry regiment. We're the only police force in the country of Canada that has a yellow stripe. If we have any U.S. Army veterans here, you would know because you are the U.S. Cavalry. You also have a yellow stripe on your dress blues. So we have this dress as a tradition. We have a horse section in Ottawa. We do not have operational horses. They're merely show horses, if you will. They do a musical ride. Perhaps some people here have seen the RCMP musical ride. And they do a choreographed drill, set to music on 32 horses. And the Mounties that ride the horses are regular police persons. They go to train for 3 months to ride, and then if they make that, they join another 3 months, and then they're asked to be on the ride for 2 years with an extension of 1 year. And when their time is up, they go back to being a real policeman again when their time up is on the ride. So that's our connection with our horses. I've ridden in many parades. In my time, I didn't think a Mountie should walk in the parade. Not that I was lazy. But anyway, so that's a little bit about the uniform. Anybody got any questions about, you know why it's red now? Good job. Yes, sir.
When we talk about peace force, usually two fighting parties involved. At the time that it was called peace force, what were the parties in fight as you were peace force?
We are law enforcement. We're a peace officers, so we don't look for fights. The fights come to us. When they originally came out, they were there for the protection of the settlements that were going to come after us. So we had a law enforcement in place before immigration happened in this part of the world. So that's the main thrust of why they were brought into existence, is to quash the whiskey traders and also get ready for immigration.
So basically enforcing the peace and calm.
Yeah, that's it. Yes, sir.
Can you explain your medals and your stars on your sleeve?
Oh, okay. These are I like to think they're all for bravery, but they're not. I got these two for Cyprus. I was in the army in Cyprus in the Mediterranean.
Wow.
Got a bad sunburn, so they give me this one. This is the Queen's 70th anniversary medal. About 900 Mounties in this country got this one. I guess I was in the right line. And this is the RCMP Long Service medal. The stars are service stars. You get one for every 5 years of service.
Oh.
And this is sergeant rank. In this country, it's very British. And cross pistols and rifle. I'm a marksman with the weapons of the day. And what else is there here?
That's some on your
Collar dogs. Do we have any armed forces personnel here that know what a collar dog is?
No.
No? Okay, I'll tell you. These things are called collar dogs. They're the emblem of the RCMP. It's a bison surrounded by one leaf for every province and territory. The bison kept the guys alive on the march west. So we have that on our coat of arms, so to speak. We have this, is on our car doors, is on our shoulder patches in our working uniform, and that's part of our dress, is these collar dogs. And I think that's about it. Okay. Yes, sir?
Very nice book.
Oh, yeah. Thank you.
I have a question.
These boots come from the Alberta Boot Company. They made boots for the RCMP in my day. Yes, sir?
Do you guys do intelligence sharing with other agencies? I think there's M5 out of in UK or Europe and
Interpol?
yeah, Interpol.
Yes.
Yeah, do you
Yeah,
guys?
we have a section in the federal policing
Right.
that do all those things you just mentioned there.
Okay.
Yeah. So we have the federal policing, which is part of what you're talking about, a small part.
Okay.
Then the provincial policing, highway patrol, and rural policing, and then municipal policing for those towns and villages that want to hire us. So I had the pleasure to be on all three of those sections in my time, in highway patrol, and in municipal policing, small town policing, and then also in a federal job. I had long hair and a beard, you might not recognize me. Did a little work with your border people in the States on drug and modern day bootleggers. The government wants to get their tax money, right? Anyway, so yeah, I've had the pleasure of being in all three sort of divisions. Divisions is not the right term. All three kind of units of the RCMP. Any other questions?
Do you have also sections for like Navy and
Oh, good question. Did y'all get that question? Are there other sections in the RCMP? We've got it all. We've got a Marine section. I used them when I was stationed in Nova Scotia. We've got a dog section. I use them when I'm looking for someone. And we've got a ident section to examine crime scenes, like a CSI.
Wow. Airplane
And an air section, which I relied upon when I was in the Arctic.
wow.
That's your lifeline in the Arctic, is the air section. And yeah, just about everything. Crime detection labs, all municipal police forces in the country send their stuff to the RCMP crime detection labs, and there's one or two in every province. And so we have pretty much everything that a modern police force has. Yeah.
Today,
Yeah.
Anything equivalent to FBI?
That would be our federal section.
Oh,
They would be, you know, like your federal FBI, what they do.
so there's
Interstate.
no separate agency?
No, the RCMP.
RCMP comes.
Yeah, we have a civilian intelligence section. It used to belong to the RCMP. About 1980, I want to say 85, it was taken, security section was taken from the RCMP and put into a civilian unit. Kind of like your other people in the States there. Yeah. Any other questions? Yes?
When did you become the Fire Eyes member?
Oh, I couldn't tell you.
Oh,
I think probably back in 1920.
60s?
Could have been a long, long time. Yeah, long time ago.
so right now you have ladies and gentlemen.
Yes.
Both you can go there. So what
Yeah.
is the percentage?
We had ladies since 1975, and their first uniform, like their red dress uniform, was not like this. It was a red blazer, a white dickie, dark skirt, black pumps, a clutch purse where they put their pistol in, a revolver. And in 1994, I think it was about 1994, we went to the same uniform. Some of the guys missed the black pumps, but that's their fault. So they are now, I would say, a large percent of the musical ride is ladies. And we probably have about 25, perhaps 25 to 30% ladies doing operational police work. Yeah,
25%.
somewhere in there. I haven't really checked lately, but it used to be. Yeah.
Any estimate on the total number of the people in the force?
22,000 or so? Yeah, give or take. I know in my day you needed 900 a year just to look after retirements. That's recruits, 900. Any questions from this table?
No. Can you talk a little bit more about the training procedure? They call it depot in Regina. Do they all have to go through that one training facility, and what is it like there?
Yeah, okay. The question was, what is the training like in Regina, Saskatchewan? It's the only training depot in the country for Mounties. It's kind of like if you're a Marine, you go to Paris Island. So everybody goes through depot. Everybody starts as a cadet. In my day, they were called recruits, but now they're called cadets. 6 months of training, and it's very much like my Army training. You train as a troop. You live in a barracks, 32 men. And your day starts about 6:30 in the morning. You stand by your bed at attention. You hear the clang, 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 and the drill instructor spurs coming into the barracks. He does his morning inspection, gives you the once-over, your kit, your bed, your kit, and then you form up outside as a troop, and then you either march to your classes or you run to your classes. Depends if you've been good or naughty. So then your classes will obviously be something to do with police work. So there will be probably crime scene analysis. You might have a typing class, which kind of sucked for me. You might have a driving, police car driving. You might have range work, shooting a firearm, law class, academic classes. And then at 4:30, your day kind of winds down. And then you go to the mess hall for dinner. And then you come back and you kind of do your homework or you shine your boots or whatever you got to do. And then lights out at 11, and that carries on for about 6 months. 6 months. It is 6 months, 25 weeks. And then you get separated from your troop forever, because I haven't seen a lot of the guys in my troop because I missed the reunion. Because you're going to be, when you sign up to go anywhere in the country. In my day, you didn't go to your home province because they thought you'd be influenced by family and friends. I'm from Saskatchewan, but I joined the Army and I ended up in Alberta. And I signed up from Alberta. So in their infinite wisdom, they sent me to Saskatchewan, 50 miles from my hometown. And so it was great when the kids came along because Grandma and Grandpa were not far away. Some people got stationed in Nanaimo, British Columbia, and they maybe came from Gander, Newfoundland. And so it does create a little bit of an expense to go visit your family, but I was fortunate enough for the first 25 years to stay in Saskatchewan. A little bit about training. Any questions about training? Didn't think I explained it that well.
Yes, you did.
Speak French. Do you need to speak both languages of the country?
No, I barely know English. You all get that question? Anyway, so that's training. We talked a little bit about training. We talked a little bit about why the uniform is red. We talked about the March West, the cool hat we got, and where it came from. And is there any other questions about anything we covered?
I guess finally, I'm curious about cases that you guys have resolved lately. Fugitives, gold heists, anything that you can talk about where you
Martin can answer all those questions.
Martin knows a little bit about it. Really?
You have a multitude of different cases. You may have a barking dog complaint in the morning and a murder in the afternoon. You may have not that this happened, could have. You may have given a guy a ticket on Friday, he gets murdered on Monday. Sometimes it happens. But so you're in charge of the initial investigation, and then you hand it off to the higher priced help. The plainclothes section of general investigation section, or homicide section, if you will, and they look after the case from that point on. Good question. Any other questions?
Yeah.
Yes, ma'am.
Do you cover any kind of environmental crimes like illegal logging or just like fishing illegal?
No, we got people for that. Yeah, there's wildlife services,
Okay, that's, yeah.
and I'm sure there's somebody that's involved in the logging industry. We do have, some of our GAS guys do get involved in auto theft or theft of probably cattle. We have a cattle section, that get involved in those investigations. Oh, you guys have got to go for dinner. Anyway.
That's a dinner call.
Yeah, that's a dinner call. That's a little bit about our history. That's a little bit about the uniform, and a little bit about training. And I've been stationed in 15 different places in the country. In Saskatchewan, the Arctic, way up north, where the sun don't shine in the winter, and in Nova Scotia, and in various
nice.
jobs in those locations. If that's all the questions you guys have, enjoy your dinner.
Great.
Thank you.